Well, hello, I'm Danielle Bradley of Land That Next Job, and welcome to Danielle's Goal Setting Workshop. I absolutely love goal setting, and every year I set out on a process at this time of year in December to set my goals for the new year. And I have a process that I've developed that I want to share with you right now. And I've prepared some slides. I'm going to walk you through it. There's some worksheets that come with this as well. And I hope that this will be super helpful for you, as it has been for me for several years now. So without further explanation or introduction, I'm going to get into the slides. I'm going to need to put on my glasses right now to be able to walk you through the slides, and I'm going to share my screen. All right, so here we are. I am mentioned is Danielle Bradley, and this is my goal setting workshop, and it is 5 steps to rocking your year. And here's what we'll cover in this workshop. We'll cover how to set yourself up for success before you select your goals for the coming year. We'll talk about how to set up motivating goals for each key area of your life that will help you stretch and grow. And we'll also talk about exactly how to overcome obstacles to achieving your goals. And I also have a fun tool and exercise to help you create your future. And of course, I love using quotes. And here's one that I'd like to start off with by Henry David Thoreau. And it says, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life that you've imagined." I love this quote. And so I wanted to talk about why I love this topic. And it's because I just love to plan and set goals. I'm known in my circles for being a super planner and organizer. And I still have my very first goal setting journal. It's kind of fun to look back and see my accomplishments since then. This was back when I was in my early 20s. It was a Tony Robbins DVD and journal set that I had purchased on a credit card. And I had goals like, stop creditors from calling me because I had some credit card debt that I didn't know how to pay. Those were the early days when I really wasn't making a whole lot of money in my career. And I had goals like that, to stop the phone from ringing from creditors, help buy a car and things like that. So times have definitely changed since then, but it really, it was the start of me just absolutely loving to set goals, because I could see at the end of the year how much progress I had made just for the fact of setting goals. And, very fitting to have a Tony Robbins quote here, since he was my initial inspiration for goal setting. He says, "Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible." So let's get into actually our step 1. I have 5 steps for you here today. And step 1 is all about celebrating the current year. And you want to make a list that's going to reflect the year that just passed. So talk about things that you've accomplished, things that you're proud of. List down your successes, whether they're big or small. You should end up with a substantial list at the end of this exercise. You also want to talk about obstacles, maybe that you were able to overcome. Talk about results, what worked well, and you want to celebrate it all. Give yourself a huge pat on the back for what you accomplished. And, this will help your self-esteem, will help your confidence, and it's something that you can do for yourself. You do not have to wait for someone else to do that for you. And it will really help to set the stage for what comes next, which is setting your goals for the coming year. Will really put you in a very positive and confident frame of mind for doing just that. Now, in step 2, you want to rate some key areas of your life as you feel that they are today. So the 5 key areas that I've developed are a little bit condensed, and it's I have 5 areas. Number 1 is career and business. So whether you are working for someone else or you're in business or a little bit of both, I'm lumping that into one key area. Number 2 is love and relationships. Number 3 is health and wellness. Number 4 is financial. Number 5 is your physical environment. And I'm going to talk some more about each of these key areas. And you'll want to rate your life in those key areas with a current rating on a scale of 1 to 10. So you want to go 1 being, it's a terrible, to 10, it couldn't be any better. So your current rating 1 to 10 and your importance level for that area at this time in your life right now. So again, from 1 to 10, 10 being, it couldn't be any better. And once you've done that, you'll want to set some goals in step 3. So you'll want to set some measurable goals for each area of your life. For example, you'll want to set up how much by when. And you'll also want to make your goals time bound and make sure that you set results driven goals and make them specific. So we've all heard of the SMART acronym for setting goals. And, that is a good way to look at it. You just want to make sure that they're specific enough that someone looking at it at the end of the year and seeing the goal that you had and the result that you have would be able to say for sure, yes, she did or he didn't achieve that goal or did achieve that goal. So you want to make it impartial. And as well, as part of your goals, you'll have 1 or 2 goals for each of the 5 areas. You'll want to pick one goal that is going to be your focus for the year. So think right now of a goal that feels almost impossible today, and that would enable other things in your life that would be a key priority for you. By picking a goal that's close to impossible, is going to help push you and stretch you to the next level. And you'll also want to set up some actions towards that goal that, you're likely to fail at. You might very well fail, because ultimately success will come to those who fail and those who fail fast and fail often. So you want to kind of overcome that feel of failure in order to achieve great things in your life and in order to grow. And I have a quote that I love here from Benjamin Mays, and it goes, "The tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goals to reach." So now, how many goals? I want to talk about the benefits of constraint, because you'll see a lot of goal setting advice out there that guides you to set goals, maybe 3 to 5 goals for each area of your life. And you end up with 15 goals, 20 goals for an entire year. And what I recommend is really just focusing on the one goal for the year that's tied to your key area of focus, as we talked about. And then you want to pick it as based on an area that you rated a low satisfaction, but of high in importance to you at this point in your life. And then 1 to 2 goals for other areas. And by, constraining yourself and restricting the number of goals that you pick, it's going to mitigate that sense of overwhelm and create that constraint for yourself, so that you will set goals and achieve goals that will have a bigger impact on your life. Now, let's talk about each of the goal setting key area in more detail. So in the area of career and business, some ideas of goals that you might want to set can center around, for your career, around maybe securing a new job, securing a promotion and or a raise, or developing some new skills. Maybe some new skills would help you get a promotion or a raise or a new job. So you want to think about it that way in terms of your career. And if you're in business, you may want to talk about or think about new product launches, acquiring new customers, maybe setting some earnings targets, some profit targets for yourself. These are all ideas for goal setting in the career and business area. Next is in the area of love and relationships. So think about goals that might help your relationship with your significant other, with your kids if you have kids, your family members, your friends, coworkers, your broader community. And in this area, because it can seem a little intangible to set goals in an area like love and relationships, you want to think about your goals in terms of outcomes, results, activities that can be measured and verified, and that really would help improve this area of your life over the next year. So some of the things that I've done for myself when I've set goals for, let's say, relationship with my family members. You know, they live away, they live in another province in Quebec. And so I would have set goals such as, you know, go visit my mom and dad and my brothers and my family once a month for the entire year, right? So that would be an example of a goal that you can set that looking back after the end of the year, you can verify whether you've accomplished it or not. And obviously it's meant to improve that particular area of your life. Now, in terms of health and wellness, I actually have a broader definition perhaps than a lot of people do in this area. I think of health and wellness in terms of physical health as well as mental health. And, you know, you can also include spirituality in here if you'd like to. So some of the areas where you might set goals here would be with fitness, workouts, following a specific eating plan or a protocol for your food, you know, achieving a healthy weight, participating and running in a race or some particular sports or physical activity, setting up a meditation practice on a regular basis, or you know, really focusing on your self-coaching for the entire year and having some specific guidelines and goals that you would set up in this area. And in the area of financial, you may have goals such as having a specific savings target, a specific dollar amount that you want to have, or you may want to buy a new home or have specific investments that you want to make with a set return. You might want to focus on retirement planning or debt reduction. So those are some of the goals that you might set here. And the next one is your physical environment. And I love to have this as a key area because I find that it enables many other goals. So when you have a clean and clutter-free environment, it actually equals a clean and clutter-free mind. And so I like to pick specific areas of the home perhaps as a goal where you want to clean out your kitchen or your garage, your basement, your pantry. You know, those are some of the key areas where we tend to accumulate a lot of things. I know I do. And I always feel so much better when I create a clean and clutter-free environment in those areas. And another thing that you can do is you can make a list of, you know, what we call annoyances and tackle one of them each week or each month. And, you know, those would be things like, I know I have some right now on my list. For instance, a kitchen faucet that's broken, that no longer works properly, right? Every time I go to use it, I get slightly annoyed, right? Those are things that occupy space in your mind. And if you can, you know, resolve a lot of those annoyances of things that are in your surroundings and kind of clear your mind, it frees up space for other goals and other things to do in your life. So I love to plan some goals in this area. And what you want to do here is you want to plan for that desired state that you're looking for in that area, and then by when. So I created a little worksheet for you here that you can use each and every year, my goals for, and in this case, you know, whatever year we're in. And I have each key area listed here, and you have goal number one, goal number two. Goal number two is optional. You can decide to just have 5 goals for the year and pick one focus goal and write it down at the bottom with what your focus goal is going to be for the year. And in step 4, this is a crucial next step, is really work on anticipating obstacles and make a specific plan to overcome those obstacles. So think about each one of your goal and anticipate ahead of time what might get in the way of you achieving your goal. And then you make a plan for how you'll overcome each obstacle. And this is really powerful. This can really help you make some decisions in advance and not let your brain kind of get in the way of you achieving your goal. And another thing that I love to think about is think of what would make the achievement of your goal inevitable. So I created a worksheet for you here as well, and to help you think about what would make your goal inevitable in each area of your life. I know for me, let's say if I were to pick health and wellness, If I want to lose a few pounds and set a target in that area for the year of a certain weight by a certain date, I know that what's going to make that goal inevitable is if I stick to my eating protocol and if I stick to my workout plan, and I have specific things attached to that that would really make that goal inevitable. And in step 5, finally, this is kind of a interesting little exercise and tool for you, is you want to right now, after you've set your goals, start writing a letter to yourself from the future. So you want to put yourself in the mindset of your future self at the end of the year, having accomplished all of your goals for the year. And write this letter to yourself, looking back on the year, having reached your goals, and think about how that would make you feel. What would you be proud of? What would you have overcome in order to achieve those goals? What would you have learned? How would you be different? How would your life be different? And what did you think about in the process of achieving your goal to overcome your obstacles and accomplish each goal? And you'll also want to celebrate achieving your goals for the year ahead of time. This is a really powerful exercise that I do every single year that really helps to cement those goals and really build a mindset of someone who's already accomplished those goals, and makes it that much more likely that I will be able to accomplish the goals. I also have an optional step for you, and it's all about picking a theme or a word for your coming year. And, this can really help to provide some daily inspirations for your goals. You want to keep your goals top of mind throughout the entire year. And I put fun here as a word because there was a few years back where I felt like as I did my goal setting ahead of time before the year started and reflecting on the past year and what I wanted to accomplish for the coming year, I felt like for the last few years before that, I had been, much more all work and no play. And I had a strong sort of desire for having more fun in my life in the coming year. So my word of the year that year was have more fun. And so, your word of the year or your theme can be anything that you so desire. And the other thing you want to make sure, as indicated by Les Brown here with the quote, is that you want to review your goals twice every day in order to be focused on achieving them. So this is why the worksheet is really helpful. Keep it in your journal, keep it on your desk, keep it top of mind so that you're reflecting on your goals every single day and you're putting things in motion in order to be able to achieve them. All right, so this is the end of my goal setting workshop. And, this was all about goal setting, obviously, as we talked about. And what you might need some help going forward with is how to actually achieve your goals. And this is where talking with a life coach, a career strategist such as myself, can really help you set up things in motion in order to be able to achieve your goals for the coming year. And so I'm offering some free strategy sessions to help you with just that. And what we do is we get on the phone and we talk about your specific goals for the year or any obstacles that you anticipate with your goals, whether they are career goals or any other goals that you might have in your life. Could be landing a new job, a promotion, or really deciding what it is that you want to do for the coming year with your career or any situation in your life or any key focus area in your life. I can help you with. And so all you have to do is click on the link below to book your free session. It will take you straight into my calendar. We're actually going to click it right now so you can see what happens. It takes you straight into my calendar, and then you're able to set up your specific time zone and see what spots I have available for a strategy session. And so you can book that yourself for any one of the coming couple of weeks, and we'll get on the phone and help you specifically with your goals. Of course, if I feel like I may have a program that would be a great fit for you, I may talk to you about it. I may coach you on the call as well. It really all depends on what your specific needs are, but this is absolutely free and also no obligation at all. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation and this workshop, and I wish you all the best for the coming year.